Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Found Youth Film Festival Meet Your Maker. We are a collection of young people all around Scotland, and today we are joined by Maili Fraser, and she directed, produced, and written her film Prefer Not to Say. Maili, would you like to say a few words about it?
Yes, so this is a film I made when I was in my final year of uni. That was about a year and a half ago now. It was the spring of 2019 that I made it. It was a very low budget production. It was just me and my pals helping me out. And it was really nice to make. I had a really fun time. And I'm really pleased that I get to chat to my pal about it. So yeah, that's the film.
Cool. And here is Prefer Not to Say.
Cool, is it going?
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit of a technical issue. Oh, here we go.
Yay.
Thank you very much for that, Carolyn. An interesting insight there. Now, after this next song, we'll be discussing LGBT education in schools. Should children be taught about gay and transgender people? Let us know what you think.
It's just going too far that now, isn't it?
No, absolutely. I mean, come on now. You're either a man or a woman. What you were born as. These people are just delusional. Now, I don't mean the gays now, Charlotte. I know you had that phase with that girl Lucy in high school, but I know it was just a high school phase and you know better now. At least you're not trying to change biology. You're kid yourself, you're something you're not.
Darling, go put your dress on. We need to leave soon. Your grandparents want to see you for lunch before you move tomorrow. Charlotte, remember you still got quite a bit to pack before we move you down to your halls tomorrow. It'd be good if you can get that done before tea.
Hi, my name's Orla. Hey, I'm Charlie. I made an extra tea because Rebecca wanted one, but she doesn't anymore, so do you want it? Yeah, please. Thanks. I fucking love Star Wars.
Oh, me too. Me and my dad are like massive fans.
Nice. Do you want to see a meme? Always. He's a beautiful man. His face.
Come on, Charlie, we need to go.
There's a beautiful girl in a pencil pile. She's sitting all alone. He's giving her the eye. They approach one another. They don't realize the danger. What will they say? What do you think?
I still cannot believe that I got in.
Yeah, same. With the grades I got, absolutely fucked my exams. I was going through a bad breakup at the time, so.
I get that. I've recently gone through a breakup and it broke my wee heart.
Wait, they?
Yeah, my ex was non-binary, so they preferred not to use gendered pronouns. So, they.
March into to serve the me. They were younger than me. Guns poke through the trees. Death on the wind. They were aiming at him. And when the bullets
Hello
That was
again.
prefer not to say. Thank you for watching. And if there's any comments you would like to leave for Maili, you can put them in the comment box and we will get to them as they come in. But first of all, Maili, how did you come about making this film? What was the initial idea?
Okay, so I said before I made this when I was in my final year at uni. And my dissertation that I was writing at the time was about representations of trans and intersex people in specifically Spanish-speaking cinema, because I did a joint degree with Spanish, so I combined the two. And it was really hard to find films that actually represented these people. And there was nothing about non-binary people that I could find that, you know, that wasn't just like little short films. There wasn't really anything. So I thought, why not make something about it? Because it's a term that I connect to, and I think it's really interesting to think about how people experience gender in different ways. So I thought, why not make a film about it? Because yeah, I wanted to make a film, and I was reading a lot about it at the time, and it's still something that really interests me now. So yeah.
Through making this film, was there any discoveries that you made that you personally didn't know about because it hasn't been portrayed in any sort of media?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Oh, I don't know if I have an answer for that one.
Come back to that one if you like.
Okay.
We've got love the film Maili, second time watching it, and it has such an impact.
Oh.
Going off that comment, how do you think that representation is important in media? How important is it to see someone like yourself on screen?
It is. It's really, really important. It's important for the people who need that representation to see themselves on screen. Like, if you feel that is not needed, it's probably because you are represented in the media and in film and TV. And it's getting better. Like, there's a lot of, like, particularly like on Netflix and things, there's loads more LGBT representation coming in. But even then, there's still not a lot, and a lot of it is particularly like coming out stories or things. And I know that my film was a coming out story in a sense, but it's quite rare that someone is LGBT and just exists in a show, and it's not all about that. It's just about them existing. And yeah, it's really, really important, especially I think for children and young people to be able to see themselves in films and in TV. Like, I remember the first time I saw a gay person on TV was in Glee, like when I was 13 or something. And then that felt massive. And that was only like 10 years ago. So it's really phenomenal how far representation has come in terms of film and TV, but there's still quite a long way to go, I think, particularly in terms of representation of trans and non-binary people. Long way to go, currently, I think. In relation to UK media particularly, but we're getting there. We'll get there one day.
Definitely getting there. Because there's film, there's a lot of choices to be made. What was the choice of it being a lot of it silent and just by the music? What was the creative process deciding that?
I actually found most of the music before I made the film, so I think I just was like trying to pick out tracks that I liked and use them. But another reason is that, so the person playing Charlie in the film is my girlfriend Dan, who has never acted before. And so I tried to have like minimum dialogue so that Dan didn't have to speak as much. So that was both a creative choice and a practical choice. So that Dan was not having to do something that like wasn't comfortable or anything. So sorry, he's right next to me. So yeah, it's both sort of a show not tell decision and I'll try not to make Dan act decision.
We got a question from Sean in. He says, awesome film, Maili. A bit of a technical question. How did you work with your actors? How did you pair them before, during the shoot?
Oh, that's a good question. So the one actor, Dan, actually helped me write some of the script. Like, I would be sending over like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, and if Dan wasn't super comfortable with saying some of the things, I would take it out or change it or whatever. But it was mostly we worked in a much smaller group than I think we typically would on a student film. Just because that's how I like to work. I like having control of everything when I'm making stuff. And this film felt like my baby, and I just wanted to make it mostly on my own. I made it. I had a bit of help from some people, but the actor mainly, well, the other actors were just my pals who I was like, you're going to sit here and do this for me, please, in the party scene and things. But with Dan, it was just like reading through the script and sort of working on the film with me. So it was kind of our film. As a co-partnership, I'd say.
We got another question here from Fiona. She said, fantastic film. What film projects have you made since Prefer Not to Say? And do you have any more ideas for films with non-binary representation?
Oh, I like these. So I've actually not made any like short films since making it, because shortly after I started working as a filmmaker in a theatre. So a lot of the work I've done since then, the main part of my job is working with children and with young people to like help them make films and teaching them how to do it and going into schools. So I've not really had the capacity to make my own. And then we went to lockdown. So there's there's that whole thing, stopping anyone making things. I'd love to make more non-binary films. I just haven't had the time or people to do that with yet, but hopefully I'd like to make some more in the future for sure. Just because it's not a commonly talked about thing. I think it's getting more I don't know, recognition, but yeah, I'm rambling. Sorry, I keep rambling. Just tell me to stop.
We've also got another question from one of our youth team, Casey. She goes, how many shoot days did you have and did they go smoothly? And I'll also add on to that question, what was the difficult thing to shoot? What was the most difficult thing?
Oh, okay. There was, how many days did we have? It was only a couple of days, so we kind of split it because it was filmed in a couple of different locations. So the stuff at the beginning when Charlie's at home was all filmed in Inverness. We started out at Loch Ness and then filmed at my family's house. So that was maybe a day, I think, of shooting. And then like a week later, we had a few days in Stirling, which is where I was at uni, filming in my flat there. And then maybe a day or two in Aberdeen, which you might recognise the beach at the end is in Aberdeen, which where Dan was staying at the time. So we filmed in there. And it went pretty smoothly just because it was a small team of us. It wasn't stressful. It was just us with a camera and just going out and doing it. It was good. And sorry, what did you say, Callum, about?
What was the most difficult scene to film? And I also do join into that because I'll forget it. I saw a lot of your family in the credits, and you just said there about family. How was it filming with family?
Well, they weren't actually in it. That was just I filmed in the house, so I will say to them and my dogs, thank you for letting me take over the living room for the day. But they were super helpful. Like my mum, the hardest bit to film was the little bit where Charlie's sitting in the back of the car. And I said to my mum, I was like, you need to drive us and I'm going to be facing the other way and filming from the front. So I was sitting in the passenger seat facing backwards with the camera on a rig, and the rage that Charlie has in that scene was real. Dan was so unhappy about having to wear a dress and a wig. That rage was just like, that's not acting. That was real. Just about being filmed in the back of a car. That was probably the hardest thing to do, as well as the hair cutting scene, because there was a big mirror. So having to sort of move around with the camera and not get myself in it was a bit of a challenge, but a lot of it was close up, so it wasn't as bad as I sort of thought it would be, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah, probably those two scenes were the most difficult.
And obviously I was going to say with the hair wig, how working with like props and that, how is that? How did you kind of collect them? What was kind of your idea for props? Was there kind of
yeah, I think the only prop was the wig, really. And the dolls. Dan has a wee sister we took the dolls from. So those two were the only ones that we kind of had to seek out. Everything else we kind of had. And then when there was like the wee party scene, we did just have a little party afterwards. We just filmed it and then we're like, right, okay, we're done. Let's have a drink. And that was it. If I were to do this again in the future, I would definitely invest more than £8 in a wig, because it was so shiny and I think it's so obvious that it's a wig, but it was the closest thing we could get and it was the budget I was on. So, but I think it matched the hair the real hair pretty well.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it
But
got
it
me questioning. It was like, is it a wig?
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
How what like filming in public? Because I know some people have. If it's a short independent film, how was filming in public? Was there any kind of like I'm blanking on words. Like kind of problems filming in public, or did it all kind of go nice and
Yeah.
smooth?
It was fine, really. Like when we were out at Loch Ness at the start, it was like a Sunday morning and it was really quiet, so there was no one about. And when the only other bit like in public was the scene on the beach, so that was again, it was just a case of setting up the tripod and just waiting until people had walked past and then filming. And if people walked into it, just to retake it again. I wasn't going to like tell people to get out the way or anything, just sort of working around it. But it wasn't a busy day either. It was fine. Yeah.
I also thought, which was I thought a really interesting decision to put subtitles on the actual video itself. What was the decision behind that?
Well, I always really appreciate subtitles. I watch everything on TV with subtitles if they're available, and I just know that it means more people can watch it. And I know that the YouTube subtitling is sometimes a bit weird. So when I was uploading it, I just thought I'm just going to put it on, and that'll save people having to like listen to the weird YouTube translation of what the Scottish accents are saying. Yeah, just an access thing, really, just so that more people can enjoy it.
And how has lockdown affected your filming? Obviously, you said there you've not really had time to make another short film. How has that? How has it affected and maybe inspired you to make more short films?
Yeah, I mean, over lockdown, I felt, I'm sure a lot of people felt the same, just so drained by bad news around the world. I didn't really feel I had like any, like, I didn't really want to make anything because I was just so like sad about everything. But now that I've been back to work for a wee bit, I was furloughed for a while, but I'm back now. And now that I'm making stuff, I'm like, okay, I feel a bit more creatively inspired. So hopefully we'll get to make some wee things, both with what I do at work and of my own. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people, well, I certainly do, like over lockdown, it was like, great, I've got all this time because I'm furloughed to do all these things, but I just felt so drained that I couldn't do anything. And then it's like, you're wasting your time, but you know, it happened, so it's fine. Everyone's dealt with it differently, I guess. But yeah, feeling a bit more creatively inspired now that I'm working again. So yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to mention about the film, maybe that I haven't brought up? Any important aspect? The alarm scene, I was going to ask, did you have to film those on different days?
No, we filmed them on the same one.
Yeah.
I just brought like 4 or 5 outfit changes to, it was my sister's uni flat we were filming in, and I just brought loads of changes of clothes and was like, right, we're going to do all this. You're going to pretend to get dressed, leave, and then change again, do it again. And then, yeah, that was it. It was all on the same day. Yeah, I just kept changing outfits and just doing different times on the phones to indicate it's a different day. Yeah, I think that's
cool.
about it.
I'm just, is there any other last minute questions from audience? Any last minute? And I suppose last one, what do you think you're going to do next? I know we touched on maybe more representation films.
Yeah.
But is there anything in the process of?
Not currently at the moment. Not obviously not related to filmmaking, but I am going to be doing a master's in gender studies starting in February, which I'm really excited about. So maybe I'll get some more ideas from doing that. I've also had this idea about making a vampire film for like 6 years, and I still haven't done it. So yeah, pester me about making a vampire film. It's about a vampire who likes to ride a bike, but you can only go out at nighttime because he's a vampire. But that's all I've got. I've not got a story yet.
Oh, we got one comment. From Casey, how was your university experience?
I had a really good uni experience. So I did a joint honours in film and media and Spanish at Stirling. Graduated last year. It was great. I did sort of a mix of academic and sort of production based stuff. And because of the way my joint honours worked out, I wasn't allowed to do the dissertation you can do as just a film and media student is a dissertation or a documentary. And I wasn't allowed to do the documentary because I had to take this other module, and it just messed it all up. So I wrote about film instead, which is what I like to do. But it was really good. One of the things that made it really, really good was I joined the Filmmaking Society, AirTV, at Stirling. I think most unis have some kind of student TV station. If you can join one, go and do it. That's how I learned pretty much everything I know about it, and that did help with my studies as well, because you have a bit of prior knowledge. So if you're in a uni and you want to make films, go and join your film society, because you'll meet lots of people and build up a wee network and get to make cool things. So the reason I made that film was because I wanted to make it, but also we had I don't think it happened this year, but they did a thing called the AirTV Awards. They called it ATVAs, which is like the Oscars of Stirling. So I made it because I wanted to put it into it's like a mini film festival, and it was really cool.
Ooh,
So yeah, I had a great time at uni and I miss it, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing now too.
How has it been since leaving uni and doing your work at Uni Court? How is obviously we now have to social distance and everything. How have you felt filmmaking and social distancing? How has that been?
Well, this is really, so for context, this week has been my first week back in the theatre building at Eden Court in Inverness, working with young people and making films. And it's been so great because it's been like 7 months since we've been able to do that, obviously. And it's been a bit odd having to sort of step back from people, especially when I'm like helping people learn how to use a camera and I have to stand back and be like, this is how you do it from 2 meters away, or like keeping a bit of distance if we've got masks on. But it's better than nothing. I'm so grateful that we're able to be back and doing stuff, because it's better than nothing. Bit weird, but really glad to be able to do it again, because it's so much fun. My job is so fun. It's great.
Thank you so much, Maili, for coming on and talking about your film for Not to Say.
Thank you, Callum.
And to you. Up next, we have a short video from Kian at the Scottish Youth Film Festival that is happening this weekend. You can find the full programme of events on their website. We are particularly excited about the workshop Ian is running on Story, because this year at the Spans Youth Film Festival, we are asking young filmmakers to submit films to our film challenges. One of the challenges is the Story Challenge, so I think this workshop will be great, and I believe we have a short video to play.
Hiya, my name's Cian, and this weekend I'm excited to host a storyboarding workshop at the Scottish Youth Film Festival. It'll take place at 2:45 PM. It's in collaboration with Fans Youth Film Festival, who want to encourage all you young filmmakers and creatives to engage with their youth team challenge this year on the theme of time. It's a fantastic opportunity to be creative and tell your story. Come along and get a few tips on how to get started with storytelling, from basic script writing all the way to storyboards. Hope to see you there. Good day. Good luck.
There we go. So this weekend, this weekend for the Scottish Film Youth Festival. Be sure to check out all the links on their website. Thank you so much, Maili, for doing this, and we hope that you make more short films in the future. So from me and everyone at the Fans Youth Festival, thank you for watching, and goodbye.